Hello everyone, my name is Yuvarajan and welcome to the premiere of a brand new season of Knowledge Worth Sharing. My podcast has officially turned 2 this year. Since season 1 has ended, I've taken a gap from podcasting to revel in the journey of pursuing my passion, which is to serve as many people as possible worldwide. I enrolled into J. Shetty Certification School back in May 2021 after waiting patiently for almost a year and a half. I have successfully graduated from JSCS on October 2021 and I can now proudly say that I'm a J. Shetty certified coach. Along the journey, I've discovered my coaching niche, anti-discrimination. Therefore, for this brand new season, I'll be focusing on the powerful human stories that went against the odds. This podcast will dissect these strong-willed individuals who have been victims of discrimination and how they came out of it and served the world in their unique way, thus making it a better place. It will be a mix of interviews and solo episodes that will retain the educational element, as I believe discrimination stems from ignorance. Education has the power to eradicate ignorance and is thus potent enough to combat discrimination. This podcast will be a weekly podcast with interview episodes alternating with solo episodes. Please give your feedback via my contact details, which are available in my description. I genuinely value your feedback to improve my content further. May you enjoy your stay here and find my content worth listening to and sharing. Service, education, drive, self-fulfillment. With humility, Yuvarajan at Thrive Coach YD. Welcome to my second episode of Knowledge Worth Sharing Season 2. I appreciate your willingness to check out my content and I hope you'll find it meaningful and worth sharing. This episode will be a solo episode where I will be talking about pertaining topics related to anti-discrimination. Today, let us start with the basics. We will look into several discrimination's definitions and derive a summative meaning from all those definitions. Then, I will be vulnerable, sharing my own experience dealing with discrimination. This episode is not for the faint-hearted, so make yourself comfortable, sit tight, and enjoy this episode. So, let's get started with this episode. Oxford Dictionary defines discrimination as the unjust or prejudicial treatment of different people, especially on race, age, sex, or disability. Interestingly, discrimination has a positive meaning too. But for this episode, I will be focusing on the negative connotation, as this happens to be prevalent in the current era. This connotation implies unequal treatment of a specific group of people based on social backgrounds. It's pretty interesting to notice by observing the Google book Engram viewer graph for the word discrimination. A steep increase can be seen in the chart beginning from the 1900s, which coincides with the emergence of female voting rights in the United States. The exponential growth continues into the 40s, 50s, and 60s, which coincided with the emergence of the Black Rights Movement led by the late Martin Luther King Jr. This trend continues into the 80s and 90s, which coincided with increasing voices of the LGBTQ+, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual, and queer communities. Going back to the definitions, Cambridge Dictionary defined discrimination as treating a person or a particular group of people differently in a worse way than general treatment. This definition added the perception of discrimination as a treatment is different compared to generally perceived treatment. Lastly, American Psychology Association defines discrimination as the unfair or prejudicial treatment of people and groups based on characteristics such as race, gender, age, or sexual orientation. So, we have seen the three definitions of discrimination from three various sources, and there is one pervading theme: unequal treatment of individuals based on social backgrounds. The podcast will commence after a short break. Stay tuned. Everyone, my name is Yuvarajan, or you can call me Drive Coach YD. I have three burning questions for you. Number one, have you ever been judged for your belief or race or gender and being denied the opportunity to truly expressing yourself to the world? Number two, due to this, do you feel like stuck or giving up of your desire and dream as it got struck down even before it got started? Number three, do you find yourself complaining or venting a lot and yet you cannot find a solution to your issue? If your answer is a resounding yes to at least one of the questions mentioned earlier, you are a victim of discrimination. I have been you many years ago and still am now. Therefore, I can truly resonate with how you feel. I empathize with you. I have been called Keling, which is an offensive word for Indians where I'm staying, for umpteen times that I've lost count. I've crossed certain people who have ridiculed me for who I am without even bothered to hear me out. Does this experience sound familiar to you? If yes, I just want to say, I am here to hear you out. I'm keen to listen to your unique voice, which has been engulfed by the other noises for all this while. I truly believe there is a true greatness hidden within you. Remember, there is only one you. You are unique, and your uniqueness deserves a spotlight. Yes, I get it. What has happened to you was rough, but how you react to it truly depending on you. You can perceive it as an obstructing boulder in your life and dive into endless complaints and venting like what a victim does. Or you can perceive it as a leaping stone to achieve greatness and think like a victim. Which one will you choose? A victim or a victor? If you say victor, then we have a deal. I am a J. Shetty certified mindset and drive coach. I work with young adults between the age of 20 to 30 years old who has been a victim of discrimination or favoritism. Through my coaching service, I am offering a one-to-one consultation call via Zoom to help young adults who are victimized by discrimination to find clarity in life and be the best version of themselves by looking at a vantage point beyond the discrimination they are currently facing within 8 to 10 weeks. I am not implying that your problem will be resolved in 10 weeks, but at least by then, your mindset will undergo a dramatic shift beyond the victim mindset and towards the victor or thriving mindset. Now, why should you pick me over any other coaches? Because I am the living proof of a person who can truly live their passion despite being a victim of discrimination. As a wise person says, experience is the best teacher. If you're convinced that we could work with each other, then please click the link below this video and I will schedule a free discovery session call for you. I will end this video with a parting quote by Oprah Winfrey. I see you. I hear you. And what you say matters. Thank you. Welcome. Now, in this phase of the podcast, I will be sharing my bouts of discrimination. In general, I had a wonderful childhood, and I do not have any memory of being treated unjustly. I first faced unjust treatment when I started my secondary education. Despite becoming a top student in the UPSR Primary Education Standard Test, I was in the second class. The reason was a system that allocated a particular class for a specific race and the nons in other classes, regardless of their UPSR achievement. I only managed to enter the first class a few months later, only after the issue caught the attention of the higher departments. Then, in my SPM examination, the penultimate examination before graduating from high school, there is a paper in which I excelled in previous exam and tests. I aced the trial and felt confident I will ace the exam as well. But to my horror, I only managed to get a B, even after rechecking the grades. Many years later, I realized there was an alleged double standard in marking public examination papers. Applying into varsities after my SPM was nothing short of a roller coaster ride. In Malaysia, there were three main pathways to enter higher education institution after SPM, namely matriculation, public universities, and the Public Service Community (PSC) scholarship. Despite my commendable grades, 8 A's and 2 B's, I did not get any placement in matriculation and public universities, nor was I offered a scholarship. My classmates of a certain race with lower grades managed to get some offers. Even for the undergraduate maths teacher training course which I attended, I managed to enroll only after 4 rounds of appeals, despite being highly qualified by merit. I achieved A1s in both my additional maths and modern maths papers. Life in teacher training college was pretty harsh. I was the only Indian guy in my class, and since I was thinking out loud differently, I was isolated and ignored for being my true self. In the conversation with my classmates, I can recollect one incident in a guy's hostel of a certain race. He called me kaki bakar, which means a person condemned to hell. He mentioned that because I do not share the same belief with that person. Then, a few more episodes of discrimination occurred, ranging from not informing me of a certain class which affected my attendance, to when I had to apologize in front of the rector for a mistake I did not commit. I even got discriminated against by my own communities for apparently being unable to speak Tamil fluently. This perception made them assume I was less of a man. less of an Indian. Some see this as a sign of disrespect and lack of confidence. I want to say one thing to these people. All of you can go fly kites. I know myself better and I do not need your certification or recognition to be my true self. I am a confident person as well as I know it, and I love myself. But I believe the final draw was my practicum posting in a racist school. The school has students entirely from, you guessed it, a particular race. There was a festival where the school teachers slaughtered a cow right before my eyes. To put things into perspective, cows are sacred animals for Hindus. The cow is called Gau in Sanskrit. The holy scriptures of Sanatana Dharma, including Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Upanishads, and the Puranas, refer to the cow as Gomata, meaning cow, the mother. The importance of Gomata, that she is extolled in the holy scriptures with the saying Gavo Vishwasya Mataraha, which means cows are the mothers in the universe, in the Rig Veda and the Yajurveda. In the Atharva Veda, the verse Mataraha Sarva Bhutanam Gavaha Sarva Shuka Pradaha, which means cows are the mothers for all living beings and the providers of all pleasures and happiness. So, in short, we regard cows as mothers as they feed us milk, similar to a mother breastfeeding her child. I felt sick when I saw the cow being slaughtered and walked away from the school as I felt so disturbed by the incident. The next day, the school administrators fabricated a charge against me and penalized me for neglecting my duties, despite my best attempts to explain to them. Now, all of you know why anti-discrimination came as a natural choice of my coaching niche. I experience discrimination daily, but then I develop resilience within myself and refuse to let all this discrimination keep my true self bottled within myself. Come what may, discrimination make me even bolder to voice out my ordeals. What does not kill me makes me stronger. I'm stronger than all the discrimination I face. Every individual born in this world has a unique purpose, roles, and abilities. I have covered this extensively in my previous episode in Season 1, where I dissected the meaning behind the poem The Mountain and the Squirrel by Ralph Waldo Emerson. You might want to check the episode. Therefore, all beliefs should be respected and treated equally. Now, audience, to have a better understanding of discrimination towards Indians, I invite you to watch the short film by S. Balachandran, which won BMW Shorties 2010 People's Choice Awards. The short movie is entitled Kickstart, and I will share the link in the description. Thank you for listening to the end of this episode. My podcast, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube pages are now online. Do check them out and do not forget to tag me on Instagram at knowledgewordSharing_YD and knowledgewordSharing by Yuvarajan on Facebook. I'm also delighted to say that my podcast is now available in Apple Podcasts, Audible, and Amazon Music. For those who are interested to have a free discovery coaching call, I've also included the link to schedule a call with me in the description. If you find this episode useful and worth sharing, please do share in all your social media handles so that many more can listen to it and hopefully will find it worth sharing too. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode. Sayonara.